Hello everyone, welcome to Simplus Sessions. Today's event is a webinar. We're grateful for you all taking time out of the middle of your day to join us. The topic of today's webinar is how to stabilize and scale operations in a new world. Now as we go through the presentation today, we can't see you or hear you, but if you do have questions, please do raise them using that blue hand icon on the right hand side of your screen. The topic today we'll get into, I'll introduce myself briefly. My name is Kyle Hanagarne. My current role is National Sales Director at Simplus Australia. Prior to joining Simplus Australia as the National Sales Director, I've been with Simplus for about 5 years, and for about 4 years it was my responsibility to develop and oversee the successful delivery of all of our different types of consulting services. We focus on Salesforce consulting services. We try to treat Salesforce like a mission-critical enterprise application. And our managed services offering has been a key element of what we do over the last few years. When I moved to Australia, it was for the purpose of introducing our brand of managed services into the Australian Salesforce ecosystem, among some other things. And so the topic today of how to stabilize and scale operations in a new world is going to be largely focused around that managed services offering. Now, COVID-19 has changed businesses as we know it. There's no clear timeline when social distancing restrictions will end and when businesses will be back in office, but it's clear that we all need to reassess not only our short-term plans, but also our long-term strategies, especially as they relate to how we operate with a remote workforce and leverage different technologies, either digital technologies like video conferencing, cloud softwares, CRMs like Salesforce, and services provided by vendors that are also remote and possibly changing. Right? So as we get into it, I'd like to start by just kind of giving a quick definition of what managed services is to frame our conversation today. Now, managed services, as we're going to discuss, is basically a way that it's a framework that companies can leverage to augment the skills of their team, stay ahead of the trends that are going on in technology, address skills gaps that they have within their team, and get expert guidance in areas that they need that are targeted, that don't require them to build massive teams of people with lots of different skill sets, because that can be challenging to manage and also might not be feasible from a budgetary standpoint. So that's going to be the basis of what we refer to when we talk about managed services today. Today will not be a complete walkthrough of how our framework works, but it's more about the concept. And we've got some guests with us today. I'm happy to present and want to issue a great thank you to our 2 guest speakers today. Adrian Vogt, who is a customer success manager at Simplus, and Evlynn Hayes, who is a manager of seniors card at the Office for Aging Well at SA Health. And we'll give Adrian a moment to introduce himself, and also Evlynn, and then we'll go into some Q&A about Evlynn's story with SA Health. So Adrian, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself quickly?
Thanks, Carl. I'm Adrian Vogt. I'm the Simplus Customer Success Manager for Managed Services in Australia. My key responsibilities are managing Simplus's relationship with our managed service clients, ensuring we maintain a consistent process, and I'm the point of escalation. Now, my career, I have over 20 plus years of experience delivering successful business outcomes and providing value for my customers. My career has centered mainly around CRM consulting to high-level enterprise organizations in both Australia and overseas. But I think the thing that I really bring to this is I genuinely care about my customers' journeys, and I work with them to continue to evolve on their Salesforce platform. Thank you.
Thank you, Adrian. And Evlynn, can you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, no worries. Hi, Kyle. So South Australia's Office for Aging Well offers a range of services to help older people to connect and contribute to the communities in which they live. So that includes the Seniors Card program, which provides nearly 400,000 members who are over 60 with transport concessions and discounts from over 700 businesses across the state. We've also got the Retirement Villages unit, whose customers include over 160 village operators, over 26,000 existing residents and their families and prospective residents as well. And the Adult Safeguarding unit that works to protect the rights of vulnerable adults at risk of elder abuse. So our office uses Salesforce to manage all of these functions. And my role is to provide a system admin function across all of the instances, but I primarily head up the Seniors Card program and the business services part of Office for Aging Well.
Great. Well, thanks for being with us today. And my first question for you, Ev, Simplus and the Office of Aging Well, we've partnered together for a few years, but maybe for the audience, can you tell us how you started your Salesforce journey in the beginning?
Yeah, no worries. It was over 10 years ago now. So it was in 2009 that we originally implemented Salesforce to manage the sales and opportunities for our business customers. But very quickly, we started to recognise the rapidly increasing digital savviness in older people and the need to deliver customer-centric service and support older people to feel connected to their community. So we launched the fortnightly Weekend Plus magazine. So this digital magazine is filled with lifestyle content and events and new restaurants and provides older people with ways that they can be active and connect with their communities. So to deliver that into inboxes, we used an email marketing platform, but there wasn't any synchronisation with the existing CRM that we had, which was a basic Microsoft Access database. And that resulted in double handling of data, significant risks around the data handling, privacy consent, and in our worst nightmare, we did have customers who had opted out and were still receiving emails. So we undertook a project to expand Salesforce to be a full CRM for all of our members, which was great, but we still weren't synchronising the CRM with our email marketing platform, which was resulting in poor customer service and poor engagement. Around that time, we also implemented 2 Service Cloud instances for our Retirement Villages unit and Adult Safeguarding unit to case manage and administer legislation.
So that's several different Salesforce modules, Salesforce clouds, and some pretty good initiatives to get you going. So what was the turning point in managing all those different orgs and clouds that you realized that you needed support through a managed services engagement?
Yeah, well, it was in early 2018 that we engaged Simplus to transition away from our existing email marketing platform and to integrate Marketing Cloud with Sales Cloud. So that was a really successful project with Simplus. We had no IT support from within our own department, so it was really important for us to have the right ongoing support for all of our instances. So we entered into a 12-month support plan, which was just purchasing a set number of support hours for 12 months. And then it was after that my account executive at Simplus suggested that I chat with you, Kyle. I think it was in your first week of being in Australia, about the managed services as a more flexible and robust support solution.
So comparing the kind of old support model, which is very typical of what's normally on the market, to the managed services model that you put in place with Simplus, what is the major difference that you see?
The major difference is the flexibility in the hours, the ability to track exactly how we're using those hours. The regular contact that I've got with the managed services team has just been fantastic.
Great. Now, how has the pandemic impacted the Office for Aging Well and how you operate internally?
Well, I mean, a huge part of our business in Office for Aging Well has turned to aged care, which is traditionally a responsibility of the Commonwealth Government. But, there's been directions about visitation and flu vaccine requirements from the 1st of May that's resulted in a huge increase of work for a lot of my colleagues. From a seniors card perspective, the majority of my team are working from home, so it's been really important for us to come up with solutions to maintain the self-imposed KPIs that we have to ensure that members continue to have access to services and information and the benefits of the program. Our resourcing has been impacted. We're receiving a whole lot more calls, more emails and more out-of-the-box queries. So it's really important that we have efficiency in the systems that we use.
Yeah, I'm sure you weren't able to plan for COVID-19. So how has managed services supported you through this major change? And is it very different from what your business as usual looks like?
Well, I think one of the main benefits of the managed service is that it's always responsive. So that's been a consistent throughout. There has been a huge increase to contact in contact to our unit, a huge increase in the number of applications, and in turn, we've increased the email communications that we've been sending out to our members through Marketing Cloud. So there have been a few issues that we've encountered, but we've been able to respond really quickly to those things through managed services to ensure that that important information is still getting to this really vulnerable group of people. It's been, to help relieve the impact on resourcing, we're actually working with Simplus at the moment through managed services to progress our member self-service project earlier than we expected to allow members to undertake some of those services online, which is really great timing.
Great. Now, your move onto the Salesforce platform, just having known you, I know that it's resulted in some cost savings for you guys, and you've had zero customer complaints about what's been put into place. How have you been maintaining your customer service through this period and maintaining zero complaints? That's very amazing.
Yeah, I mean, when social distancing and restrictions started to be implemented, my team and I realised pretty quickly that we had a major role in getting important messaging out to older people who, as I said before, are the most vulnerable demo through this pandemic. So, particularly we have the largest online database of older people in the state. We've got an online audience of over 90,000. So there are other organisations like COTA who are looking after those things who aren't online. So we're really focused on the online cohort. So half of my team are, committed to the customer service, talking to older people on the phone, often for a whole lot longer than we would usually, relieving their concerns, answering their questions, making sure they still have access to the benefits that they enjoy with their seniors cards. The other half of my team is spending their time compiling important, useful, and often fun messaging to get out digitally. And, with Marketing Cloud, it's actually been really easy to develop an EDM template, populate the content. Information is changing so rapidly that we're currently sending 2 or 3 EDMs per week. The engagement is consistently higher than usual, meaning that older people are really engaged and they're looking to us as a trusted source of information in these difficult times. We've received some beautiful feedback, some really lovely feedback from our members, which has been really, really nice to see. The one that really stands out for me is the one that says, thank you so much for all the information that we can do while isolated. I'm not very good with technology, so being able to click on the various links in the emails you send is wonderful, which means that our template that we've built for our EDMs in Marketing Cloud is working. It's having the desired effect to help older people to find that information.
That's fantastic. Now, has the managed services engagement helped you to achieve these results, and how has it, and how closely do you work together with Simplus and the managed services team to coordinate your efforts?
Yeah, we work really closely, and we have weekly status meetings, which have always been over Zoom. So I was a Zoom expert well before all this happened. Adrian and the lead in the Philippines have been great. So I meet with them weekly. We run through cases and utilisation. If I need to log a new case or I send an email, there's usually an immediate response to note that the issue or the query or the bug has been received. So there's often email back and forth daily. There's 2 main points of contact, and that makes for an easy and close working relationship.
Great. As you mentioned, you're a Zoom expert from working through this, engagement with us. I should note that from the very beginning of Simplus, we wanted to make our workforce available to any customer anywhere. So even though COVID-19 is forcing a lot of companies that are not used to working in remote situations, our team has been doing it for about 6 years plus. So I'm glad we were prepared, and it has been a pretty seamless working relationship with SA Health. Now, you mentioned flexibility as being a key kind of thing that you like about managed services. How have you found the flexibility related to contract hours, and has this relieved any pressure on your internal resources that you have within your department?
Well, I mean, as I said, I work across 4 instances. So I provide the system admin with one other staff member supporting me, which means that relieving the pressure on the resources when it's just me and one other staff member, having the managed services means that I've got an extended team. So, and I have flexibility across the hours in the month as well, and having those weekly status meetings about the utilisation means that I always know where I stand. So, you know, I had the confidence that we had a huge spike in March. You know, our average is still on track. So that's clearly outlined in utilisation. It's discussed in those weekly meetings. The costs are always predictable. And as I said, I feel like my team is expanded by having that managed services there.
That's great, and I'm happy to hear that. You know, related to spikes, I won't go into the full detail of how our model works, but it is set up in a way that lets you accommodate those spikes and adjust to the unexpected, so you can get business continuity without having to really worry about what it means from a cost perspective. So being able to adjust to the unexpected but still predict your costs is extremely important, and it's even more important when there's uncertainty. So I'm glad to know that you're getting that value out of the engagement as well. Now, last question for you, Ev, is what do you anticipate the Office for Aging Well looks like post-COVID-19, and what changes do you think you'll retain as we go into the future?
Yeah, I mean, specifically for seniors card, I mean, we have an ageing population that is becoming increasingly tech savvy. We know that, we've seen that in the past couple of months. The willingness for older people who haven't been online to go online to connect with family and friends is increasing, and I don't think that's going to stop once we're past COVID-19. I think that we will have an increased membership based online. You know, we've got 90% of our applications for a new seniors card now coming in online. That's going to continue going up. Through this process, we've had a huge increase in our membership. There's a number of reasons for that. I think one is some of the additional benefits that have come out through this, like some of the supermarket benefits, but also the trusted information that comes from the seniors card team. I think because people are seeing that there are benefits and ways to connect through technology, more and more people will be doing that and getting more interested in doing that. So I think that more seniors are likely to be online moving forward. So we need to keep the trust and the customer centricity top of mind. So one of the things that we're doing at the moment, working with managed services, is expanding our self-service online service for members, as I mentioned earlier. So managing subscriptions and updating all of their details online. So we're excited to be able to launch that sooner than we were expecting to.
Well, great. It's been a pleasure kind of asking you a few questions, and thank you very much for sharing your answers with the audience here. You know, to the audience, you know, if you have any questions for Ev, we will be opening up for Q&A in a few minutes. So be sure to submit any questions you might have for Ev. All right. So shifting over to you, Adrian. You work with different customers from all walks of life, all industries. What are you seeing in the marketplace right now? How are companies responding to the current crisis?
Thanks again, Carl. What I've noticed is there is more openness to using remote service providers. And we've experienced this with one of our customers, a large Australian retailer, who was initially reluctant to use remote services. And, well, how did we turn that around? It was thanks to the Simplus resource model of using these named resources. This allowed us to build up a relationship that led to them trusting the team, and location became and was no longer an issue. This means now, with everybody working remotely, that the customer can focus on their business objectives with the confidence that we are supporting them, and also assisting by delivering enhancements that add value at this time. We've also seen more emphasis on organizations using their own employees for business-specific activities and having the managed service carry out operational and technical work. The managed service team worked with the Victorian Government Department, who at the start of COVID-19 did not have the capability for a remote workforce. Having the managed service in place freed up the internal team to focus on dealing with the challenges coming out of getting the workforce mobile. Again, they had the confidence that their platform was being supported, and they also leveraged our experience to provide guidance.
You know, COVID-19 has had such an impact on the global economy, and one of the major concerns we know businesses have right now are, you know, how to appropriately use their funds and how to continue to invest in Salesforce. So for organizations looking to enhance their Salesforce instance, but maybe limited on funding or have uncertainty related to their budgets, what should be, in your opinion, maybe the first thing they focus on at this time?
Well, we always start all our managed service engagements with a knowledge transfer. This is to gain not only an understanding of the architecture of the platform, but also the business processes. And this is in order for us to accept what is the business trying to accomplish. We'll work with them to plan and help to prioritize their initiatives so that these initiatives will be aligned with the business outcomes that they seek. Our team leverages experience with over 100 clients so that if you don't know where to start, it would help to ask someone who has seen a lot of companies' Salesforce journeys. Our experts will likely know more about what is possible with Salesforce and what is available through your current license set that you might not actually be taking advantage of at the moment. We've also come to the realization that we need to work with our customers to be better prepared for the unexpected. And we have a flexible strategy to manage shifting priorities and market conditions and what their impacts are on your digital platform.
So the knowledge transfer sounds pretty important in helping customers understand what their need is, and that makes sense that every business's immediate need is different. So, Ev, if I could call on you again, as it relates to the knowledge transfer, did that help you understand your business or help you prioritize any of the initiatives that you had?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was great that the team really took the time to understand our business, and I think that, I mean, I wasn't expecting that level of knowledge transfer, but it was done in a really easy way where I was able to pass all that information on. And then there's, you know, recommendations that come back the other way as well. So have you thought about doing this? Have you thought about doing that? Which really gave me that confidence that the team was able to understand my goals and that we were sort of planning and going down that path together, which was great.
So knowing that all organizations are at a different spot in different industries, have different priorities, and are different sizes, you know, Adrian, for organizations that maybe just need a little bit of help, but maybe not a full team managing their Salesforce instance, what's your view on, would managed services be too much for them? Or if not, you know, is it flexible enough for them to use, and how should they possibly use one? Or how could they?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, small amounts of expert skill can enable a team to do a lot. You know, even if you get just 5 to 10 hours per week of targeted help, you know, that can help you establish or improve your Salesforce operations and also work to get through some advanced backlog that you might not have the in-house skill set to do. You know, the advantage of our model is through the flex utilization. It allows you to not only predict your costs, but to also adjust, as you rightly said earlier, to the unexpected. We have multiple examples across our clients where we have been able to assist with micro projects in this challenging environment, in addition to supporting within their existing arrangement. In addition, our customers have been able to leverage our experience to support their own admins. You know, this is just, you know, could be through conducting peer reviews. Sometimes it's guidance. You know, we are constantly working to innovate, you know, their platforms. Our team is built up of Salesforce certified consultants with 5+ years experience. And this is across the Service Cloud, integration, and App Exchange projects. And, an important thing was at the end of last year, I went out to the team in Manila, and it was really great to observe firsthand their professionalism, their can-do attitude, their skills and expertise. And this reaffirmed to me why I feel our managed service offering is an industry leader.
I'll echo that. We have a great team in Manila, and our managed services agreements span from teams of 2 to teams of 50. So we can definitely be flexible enough to scale to any organization's need, small to large. So thanks, Adrian. Last question for you. According to IDC on the future of work, 80% of revenue growth is expected to depend on digital offerings and operations by 2022. Now, what's your advice to organizations wanting to continue their digital projects but maybe don't have the capability or the bandwidth right now?
Our focus is we want to ensure that your digital solutions are stable during this pandemic. So when it's all over, your business will be in the best position to scale. We just don't want to keep the lights on, while this is all happening. We really want to continue innovating and growing your business. We understand in this environment that investing in a large digital transformation project isn't at the top of, most businesses' to-do list. But according to leading experts, now may not be the best time to halt on digital transformation or digital projects. Now, this is where our managed service comes in, because we're not just about support. We have been working with customers to continue innovating through delivering micro projects. Recently, our government customer, and thanks again to the knowledge transfer and understanding of their platform, we were able to respond very quickly to a micro project that allowed them to communicate quicker and more effectively with their customers and to provide some much needed information to them. And I think that this echoes what Evlynn's been saying that they experienced at SA Health. And
great. Thank you, Adrian. And thank you for your time today and sharing some of your insights of what you're seeing in the market. Now, as we wrap up, I just want to kind of summarize that, yes, COVID-19 has changed our world, and we are all looking for more digital and more remote solutions to our current problems. Now, COVID-19 is what is creating uncertainty for us now, and our advice to all customers is to expect something else to disrupt your operation in the future, right? Something else will make it so you will have a spike in need, or you'll need to continue to innovate on your Salesforce platform. It's important to not just think about who's doing the technical aspect, but to have a plan in place to make sure that you can scale your operation and remain stable through any type of crisis. So with that, again, a big thank you to Ev, a big thank you to you, Adrian. We're going to go to some questions now, so feel free to continue to submit questions. Some of you already have. I will go ahead and shift to that. Let me see.
Let's go.
Okay. Let's see. All right, first question comes in. Considering the level of support you have for managed services, what does your internal Salesforce team look like? Do you have a center of excellence or an admin? Now, I'm going to assume that's for Ev. So, Ev, do you have an admin? Do you have a center of excellence? And after you answer, we can give some insight into what we see at other companies too.
Yeah, sure. Well, it's pretty much me. So when I first started dealing with Salesforce, I went off and did the admin training over in Melbourne, and that sort of set me up to be able to provide a system admin function for the instance that we had. And now that we've grown to now having 4 instances of, as I said, we've got Sales Cloud, Marketing Cloud, and 2 instances of Service Cloud. It's still just me. I do have an another staff member who I'm bringing along the journey now to sort of start training up. She's done some of the training as well. But yeah, really it's that limited. So we've got, you know, no other support within the department from IT or anything like that. So yeah, it's even more important that we are correctly supported. It's, you know, these systems are vital systems that are supporting some really important functions for the state. So it's just vital that we have that team. And, you know, I think, as I said before, I feel like the team that I have, Adrian, and the team in Manila is my extended team. I feel like they have my back. They understand what I'm trying to get at, even if I don't make myself clear sometimes because I might not know the jargon. I never feel silly asking a silly question. I always feel supported.
Thanks, Ev. You know, that's a very common scenario. You know, we work with companies that have, you know, varying degrees of internal teams, and sometimes companies kind of delegate to what we call maybe an accidental administrator, and sometimes that's the starting point. You know, we put people that have 5+ years of experience working alongside anyone at a company who's kind of been delegated the responsibility to maintain the Salesforce org. We really encourage that. Like, we never look at ourselves as a replacement for anything that you have internally. We feel pretty strongly that every company needs someone to own their Salesforce instance and the direction of it. We are meant to enhance the team, as you said, and work alongside you and give you some expert guidance as you're on your journey. So thank you for that question. Another question came in for you, Ev. What was your approach to build an internal business case to measure ROI?
Yeah, great question. Being in state government means that things often take a long time to get off the ground. So our original purpose to start email marketing and therefore implementing Marketing Cloud was because our print advertising was declining, as it is everywhere. So we had to really be able to prove and showcase that older people are increasingly digitally savvy, and the numbers don't lie. You know, like I said, going back 10 years ago, 30% of our applications for a new seniors card were done online. We're now at 90%. So in only 10 years, it's increased like that. So it was very easy for us to sell that, not only internally, but also to our business customers as well. Being able to see the ROI has been really easy once again, because the engagement from our members and from our business customers has been fantastic. So we've got consistently high click-through rates for all of our EDMs. Our business customers are getting a really good ROI as well from the campaigns that they're running through us. So again, it's not just about getting important sort of state-level information to older people. It's also about promoting South Australian business and being able to get that out to older people as well. So really it's a win-win for everybody. But like I said, these things do take a bit of time sometimes to get through government processes, but I think it's an easy sell.
Great, thanks, Ev. Question came in that I'll take. It's about data security. With workforces and service providers shifting more to remote working, how are Salesforce and Simplus set up to make sure that data stays secure? It's a good question. You know, Salesforce has data centers where everyone's data in their Salesforce instances reside, and as of 2017, they have a data center located in Australia. So Australian businesses that, you know, contract through Salesforce, your data, no matter where you access it on any machine in the world, still sits within Australia. Now, you know, we take data security extremely seriously. So, you know, our teams are, you know, partially in Australia, partially in Manila. We make sure that we define up front what are the data handling protocols. In the case that there's any data work that requires extraction, you know, we make sure that we establish best practices with every company that we work with to make sure that we've got protocols in line that adhere to their company policies, but also industry best practices and data handling best practices. So just to make sure that between the Salesforce security measures, the data location, and our procedures and policies, that data remains safe. Thank you for that question. So another question for you, Ev. How long did it take you to get up and running with managed services, and was it labor intensive?
No, it was a super easy process. I think identifying the right plan for managed services was really easy. It was very clear to see what was going to be right for our needs. As I said before, going through some of those government procurement processes was a bit time consuming, but that's unavoidable. But I thought that the knowledge transfer part would be, a long and challenging process, but it really wasn't. I think that they asked all the right questions, as I said, took the time to understand the big picture of what we were trying to achieve, not just a specific functionality. So I was able to have full confidence in the team from really early on.
Great. Related to that transfer process, Adrian kind of mentioned it, but we've got it's like a 180-point checklist. We've been doing these a long time, and our intent is to make it very efficient and very easy, where the output is a very great set of documentation that stays with the company, right? It's a great basis for, or a great baseline tool for the current administration team to use, but also as members of that team come in and leave the company, that document is a living document and maintains everything that we learned during the knowledge transfer and everything that we've planned together going forward. Another question, do you offer support in other time zones to support our business in Europe as well? And the answer is yes. We have a team in Manila that supports customers in North America, in Europe, in Asia, and in Australia. So we have teams that work in every time zone. Realize that a lot of enterprises today have teams in multiple geographies, and we can support in the different time zones during business hours. Question for you, Adrian, and let me check the time. Okay, what third-party applications, if any, can the team support, or is it just Salesforce?
No, no, not at all. We support all the clouds, Salesforce clouds. We also support integration, and we support Conga, DocuSign, Heroku, Podo. So a majority of the more focused third-party App Exchange products, we definitely do support.
Okay. Great. All right. Are there any additional questions that anybody has? If you do have them, submit them now. If not, Ev, are there any parting remarks that you have, or any advice that you'd like to give to anyone who's possibly looking to embark on a managed services engagement?
Yeah, I mean, I just, I want to take the opportunity just to say thank you, really. I think that the managed services relationship that we've built is really vital to the work that we do to support our customers and our stakeholders. And, I think the best piece of advice I could give to anyone looking for support or managed services is to, as I said right the way through this, is to just to find someone who takes the time to understand your business. And as I said before, it's that big picture thinking. It's that being able to make recommendations and help me to prioritise what it is that I can do to be able to keep moving in the right direction.
Great. I'll send a thank you right back to you, Ev. Thanks for joining us today and for sharing with us. Thanks, Adrian, and thanks to everyone who joined Simplus Sessions. Hope you found value out of this, and we wish you all a great day and hope that you stay safe and healthy. And we hope to see you at the next Simplus Session. Bye all.
Thank you.